It's the final countdown. JSU, K Falik, DC, bringing you all the way up to lock here for this nasty NBA slate we got going. I think 11 games. This is going to be a fun one here. Wild going up to lock. We got a ton of news dropping. Still some news we're waiting on, though. Some news we may get before the show, some news we might not get. So we'll kind of be staying up. I got my alerts set on my phone, ready to go. So I'll be waiting for it. But got to bring in my crew, DC, rocking that Chiefs hat after that big win. How you feeling, buddy?
They're back. Did they ever leave?
Yeah.
The Chiefs are back regardless. Good to see them play well last night, and hopefully they'll keep it going forward. Big matchup with the Cowboys next week, so looking forward to that one. And man, this NBA slate is a wild one. There's in my opinion, I mean, you could make strong lineups using only the early games. 3 or 4 early games if you wanted to. I wouldn't necessarily advise that because, like you said, bunch of late news, bunch of good late plays. I'm playing 5 lineups tonight, and even that feels like a lot on this particular. It almost feels like a lot, and also not enough, right, to get all the guys you want in there. You should feel good about your lineups tonight for sure, because any individual lineup you make, you're going to have to leave out some very, very strong plays. So, going to be interesting to see how all the news breaks, and should be a fun one though.
Yeah, no, and not just strong plays. I mean, strong ways to go. Like lineup construction is very interesting to me on this slate because you clearly have stars. We got stars for sure, but we also have a mean mid-tier route with some of this news that's breaking early. So I think the question is going to be, and if you're making multiple lineups, I guess you could say, oh, well, I can make, if I'm making 20 lineups in the 20 entry max, I can make 10 and then I can make 10 and kind of wait on news and stuff like that, which for sure. But if you're someone only making one, you got to make some tough decisions here. And I think, like you said, it's kind of almost like you either just go the early route, whatever that is, and don't bank on the news, right? Because you're not going to have as many spots to pivot if you hammer the early games. You know what I mean? It's just like maybe you have 1 or 2 spots, but that's not enough flexibility, honestly, if we get the major news, which would be I don't know, Damian Lillard's questionable, right? Let's say we got him out somehow. What do you do from there? You can't swap CJ and Simons and Powell and Nurkic. You can't get all those guys. You might be able to get 1, maybe 2, but most people will be able to literally maybe they only have 1 guy starting. They can reconfigure their lineup and get a bunch of guys from that game. So I think you just have to make a choice and go with it here. I got to bring in Mr. K Falik. I get another hour of K Falik in my life, which, as I always say, I always feel good when I get an extra hour of K Falik.
Lovely to be here. I all I'm waiting for is the big news on whether Eric Gordon's playing or not personally. So once I get that news, I'll be ready
Gordon?
to go. I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh God.
No, this is a wild slate. It's really wild, and you can go through news for every single team. But I want to it's going to be this is a perfect slate to make just a very rash decision and just follow through with it and feel confident with it and be okay with it. You can be Big T 777 and just rock the early games. You can sit back and wait and be K Falik 101, whatever you want to call me, and just play the last 2 games, because no matter what, with the news of the Portland-Toronto game, there are going to still be plays in that game, number 1, because I think it's going to be a fast-paced game no matter what. And then number 2 is you have Chicago versus the Lakers, which both are playing 8-man rotations. So it's I know that Kobe White's back, but it's still going. He's going to take minutes away from these scrubbier guys, I think, and it's not going to impact guys people are scared of Caruso's minutes. I think Caruso's still going to play 35 minutes tonight. I don't see how he's going to get off the court. I'm not saying he's in play, but I'm saying they're going to play the same-ish rotations with Chicago, and it allows those guys to be in play no matter what. The Lakers played 8 guys last game, really almost 7, and they're being projected, and that's what I like about these type of slates. I'm sorry to keep on going, but I can sit back possibly if I choose to and just wait for the news to hit and projections are going to update, and people are going to like cringe at what the potential projections become for some of these guys. And there is big news out there that we're not going to get before lock.
Yep, exactly. And it's going to be an interesting way to go. K-Fal, like, I don't know. Some people, I don't think it's wrong though either way. Like I think you made some really good points about
there is
waiting.
Nothing wrong about
but
it.
Again, we have some strong plays early. I think that's the best thing about this slate is I think you have to just choose a path and go with it. But at the same time, there are two paths that seem like really good friggin' paths. And we'll talk about it real quick. Let's hit on the early news that we already got. If you're just tuning it in, you haven't gotten a chance to hop in the Discord or obviously get in there, get in the live show chat. You can ask us questions in there. But Chris Durante out for Indiana Pacers. Cavs lineup, Garland, Rubio, Okoro, Wade, and Mobley. So they're starting the two-guard lineup as they normally would do, but with Rubio and Garland, because obviously Sexton's still out too, along with no Jared Allen, who's also out with an illness. I'm telling you, right away, illness, guys doubtful. I'll say it the rest of the year. Illness almost always means they're out. If it pops up the day of, illness means no good. Jared Allen's out with the illness. So we will get a really small Cavs team. I mean, this team played the Celtics a couple days ago, and I remember they played Denzel Valentine 22 minutes, and he actually played on Tatum, did a pretty good job, and stayed on the floor because of it. They made a run. They were down like 15 or 18. They made a monster run to get back and actually take the lead at one point in that game in the third or fourth quarter with a lineup of like Cedi Osman, Valentine, Mobley, Rubio, and Dylan Windler. So like those are the guys that are going to play outside of the obvious, like Garland's going to play too. But like K-Fal, like I don't see how Mobley doesn't play close to 40 minutes in a close game. I think it's a lock. And if you have a minutes projection saying he's going to play 35 or whatever, I would honestly bump the minutes up. I think he plays. I think 35 is like what he's going to get, even if they get if they get blown out. I think he still sees like 30-something minutes. Maybe it's 32. If they stay close, though, I think it's for sure 40 in this spot.
Yeah, no, I think that Mobley is going to, if I choose to go the route of fading the early games, which I honestly not sure I'm going to do, because Mobley is the guy that I want to just plug and play. And it's because I think his minutes are very safe. He's going to have to hit the boards no matter what. And I personally believe that Time Lord is not the best defender in the entire world either. And Mobley should be able to run laps around.
You know why, K-Fal? Time Lord has this problem. He always is trying to block shots.
Correct.
So head fakes get him. Guys like Mobley who can score in so many different ways. He had trouble guarding Mobley last game. The Celtics really struggled to guard Mobley last game. They made their run with Jared Allen on the bench. Mobley was the 5 when they made the run, because they struggled really hard to guard him inside and out, because he's a very different type of player. He's got a ton of skills. He can defend on all different positions, but on offense, he can play. Yep. He can score in every area. So he is not the easiest big to defend. And I noticed that Robert Williams really struggled when they ran him at the 5 specifically. That's when the Celtics as a team struggled to stop him. And Rubio. Rubio was the key to the run, because that dude is he's a good basketball player. He's smart, he's intelligent, and you can tell everyone on the team respects him, even all the young guys. And when you have a leader that you respect, even if he's not the most talented player, that's what young teams like will rally around. And Rubio, when he gets in the game, he always gets the ball. Right when someone gets a rebound, they're looking for Rubio. Rubio he's automatically the guy. So I kind of really love Rubio. I really love Mobley. And I think you got to like Garland a little too, just because they're going to need to score. I mean, the scoring's got to come from somewhere, and it's got to be Mobley, Rubio, and Garland doing the scoring. DC, like if I'm stacking the Cavs, Are you just not going full board those three guys? I don't know. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I mean, if this was a 5-game slate or an 8-game slate, or even like an 11-game slate like we had tonight, and we didn't have a ton of news, I would have no problem at all going with just like a full-on Cavs onslaught here. I'd even throw Chetty Osman into the mix, coming off the bench here. But man, outside of Rubio, Garland, and Mobley, like Dean Wade, Okoro, like these guys they just do nothing. I've been on Rubio, all these games, Mobley, some of these games, ever since Markkanen and Love and Sexton went down. They've been good. You look at the team total here, 199, lowest total on the board. What's funny about the Cavs is they've gone. Both teams have scored under 100 points. The Cavs and whoever they faced the last 3 games. So all 6 teams under 100 points. And those guys are still getting there, and that was with Jared Allen on the floor. Mobley in particular, I think it's close between Mobley and Rubio, who I want to prioritize on DraftKings. Again, I said I'm playing 5 lineups. I think I'm playing Mobley on all 5, probably Rubio on 3 to 5, Garland mixing in, and maybe a Chetty Osman as well. Those 4 guys for the Cavs. I'll say this about Mobley. I mean, in the modern NBA game, the 5 is his natural position, right? He's going to be a center eventually. He's obviously long enough. He's spectacular defensively. He leads the NBA in contested shots on the season, and so he can absolutely play the 5. They're going to need him for every minute he can handle. And man, watching this guy play, I think he can handle a lot of minutes, right? Like he can run the floor, super athlete, and is going to play well with Rubio. Like they haven't even exactly been on the same page so far. I've watched these games, but man, explosion game possibly coming for Mobley, despite a slower, relatively tough matchup. Boston's still a good defensive team. So yeah, I'm in on Mobley, in on Rubio. I like Garland as well, and then even Chetty Osman to some degree, but I'm not sure I really want to lock up a spot on too many teams with Chetty Osman when there's so much potential value that could potentially be a lot better than him. And even if the late news doesn't break the way you would want, if you're kind of if you're pulling the K-Phallic and waiting for the late news, there's still going to be good plays in those games, right? All the news could go against you, and you're still not hung out to dry by any means in terms of the plays in the late game. So tough slate. Again, I guess just to reiterate, Rubio, Mobley, the 2 guys that I'm prioritizing the most on Cleveland, but Garland and Osman both in play as well.
So the reason why I'm high on Mobley is because of position scarcity. I think that the power forward position specifically on DraftKings is a little bit on the weaker side. So I don't feel confident about the power forward position of the late spots because I think Pascal Siakam had a ceiling game personally. He could still have one again, to be honest, and I would have to make that decision. But I'm not going to play DeMar DeRozan at his price in this matchup. It's not the right matchup to play him personally. So that's why I'm interested in Mobley specifically. In addition to his minutes are the most secure. I think that he is going to be needed to rebound and to be the offense, and I can see him having the 30 usage type of game. And yes, we are going to continue ignoring Tony, who just decided to jump into our show. So let's just keep on talking. Tony's in the corner somewhere, and let him.
I swear to God, I was about to bring up Big T's name because you brought up DeMar DeRozan. I swear to God, I didn't know he was in this Zoom room. I had no friggin' idea he was in here. Tony, you can stay quiet still because I just wanted to bring up, as K-Phallic started talking about not playing DeMar DeRozan, I realized in my head that Mr. Big T on one of our shows said that DeMar DeRozan is never in play, as DeMar DeRozan on the next slate drops a 50 burger. And I didn't realize, did you guys know that he's the 6th leading scorer in the NBA? I had no friggin' idea that he was scoring at that rate. 6th leading in the NBA.
They give 6th place ribbons these days?
No, you're not stunned that he's 6th in points in the NBA? I was kind of stunned. I was like, DeMar DeRozan?
He's shooting it 20 times a game.
Okay.
Yeah, so last game. So he's 8,300. Last game he shoots 12 for 16 and gets 50 fantasy points. That's why I don't play DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
He made every shot and got 50.
Yeah. No, he has to shoot good. I agree with you. So let's get back to this early game because we didn't touch on the other spot I did want to hit on because it starts at 7 and it's the Washington side because they're still out Bradley Beal. And we saw this already last game. Aaron Holiday's going to scoot right in there. He's 3.5K. It's probably going to play close to 30 minutes. You got Kyle Kuzma, who's 6.7. I like that they raised the price tags on these guys. They needed them raised.
So glad they did.
Spencer Dinwiddie is 7.2 on DraftKings. Thank God. He's not just like 6.2 or whatever he was last time. It's just an easy play. Now there's a little more decisions. You got Trez, who I think will come in. He was low owned last game and honestly was the best player on the team. But he only got 21 minutes, which kind of sucked in that game against Orlando because he was crushing. I mean, he had 10, 4, and 3 in the first half. And, it could have been even better, in my opinion, just watching the game. Had a few missed opportunities. But what are we doing with the Washington side? Is it just like if you played the early game with Cleveland, are you just plugging in these Washington guys? How are we going about the Washington side, DC?
Yeah, I'm not super prioritizing those guys, but I certainly think Trez, Kuzma, and Dinwiddie all good plays. I do prefer Rubio over Dinwiddie. I do prefer Mobley over Kuzma and Trez Harrell, right? They're kind of – Mobley's a little bit more expensive, but that's just the way I'm leaning. But, I mean, we've seen the upside with Harrell. Even without that last rotation, absolutely smashed. Could certainly do it again here. There's just so many guards on this slate that I don't want to lock in too many spots is my problem with Dinwiddie. Aaron Holiday is a no thanks for me. I just don't think he's got enough upside on this slate, given all the value that could emerge later that could go off for, Gordon Dragic, if he's back in the starting lineup in the same scenario, he could go off for 40 fantasy points, in my opinion. I just don't think Aaron Holiday has that kind of upside. So he's a fade, but yeah, Kuzma, Dinwiddie, Trez, I think all strong plays, but not guys that I'm forcing in. You only got so many lineup spots, and there are just so many good plays. So I guess I'm maybe not as high on these guys as the field, but certainly think they're all strong plays tonight.
Yeah, K-Falik, anything to add? Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, so let me first say DeAndre Ayton is playing tonight, so that kind of takes care of at least a little bit of news on the Phoenix side that if you had interest now, I think you have to remove that interest in the Phoenix bigs specifically. I know that they were probably not in play for a lot of people, but at least you're getting a little bit of clarity there. And that's going to drop that. So here's the thing with Washington is I think that with the price increase and how the minutes are being split right now, I'm not sure that many of them are priority plays with what is on the board in this game. I think that they could also blow out the Pelicans. The Pelicans have just looked horrible so far, and I think that they could blow them out tonight. If it's a close game and you see it as being an up and down game, then I guess they're in play. I'm just not going to play 31 minutes or 32 minutes of Spencer Dinwiddie.
So, Alec, I'm just going to cut you off real quick. Jimmy Butler officially is out for this game. Just got that news dropped. Bogdan Bogdanović will play, though. He will be available for Atlanta.
And that as I said on the show to Mangone on the show earlier, I think it was Mangone, it may have been someone else. Spencer Dinwiddie, it was AP. I said I'd take Tyler Hero over Spencer Dinwiddie if I knew that Butler was out per se. Like I think that is like Hero's locked into 38 minutes, all the usage, or a lot of the usage. And he has no problem putting up shots and getting rebounds and stuff like that. While Spencer Dinwiddie is going to play 31, 32 minutes, I think. So
was Bam was probable for this game. He just got downgraded to questionable.
Wonderful.
So, all right,
Wonderful.
more news that we will not get probably
again, you're not
going to
get the news, and now you can keep on sitting back and waiting a little bit. Again, I will say, like you're like Markeef's out as well. I don't.
I mean, this is a thin team, K Falik. Like this team. So real quick, they've got PJ Tucker, they've got Deadman, they've obviously got Haslam, but he's not playing. They've got Struss, Duncan Robinson's going to get a bunch of minutes. Caleb Martin will play a little, or whoever. Yeah, Caleb.
Hey, Felix, boy, he just came in his pants when he saw Max Struss getting an upgrade.
Oh, Eric Gordon officially ruled out. It was K Felix news he's been waiting on all day, Tony. Eric Gordon is out for tonight, people. Book it. Let's go, K Falik. Talk to me about it.
There's nothing I enjoy more than seeing K Falik smile when we get on him about his news. He gets that same grin every time.
Listen, what gets interesting is
how is Eric Gordon? You seriously said that? No, what does he impact? Oh
no, I was kidding. I was like,
what is that?
He started off the show with like, I brought it to him, Tony, and he started off the show with, "We gotta wait for this important news on Eric Gordon." And he was like totally serious. And so I
thought I was missing something.
Yeah, no, I definitely thought he was being serious when he said it.
No.
Oh God! All right, Tony. Well,
me and K Falik on the same page on that one.
I did not. I thought he was being serious.
Well, you ran away. You made fun of him too much. You had to go cry in the corner. What's going on?
Yeah, he's probably got to deal with kids. Tony, let's get your quick thoughts since you just popped in here.
I just popped in to hang out with you guys. I missed DC. I never see him non-baseball.
He likes getting the information and news 10 seconds before everybody else. So the time delay is really important to his lineup building.
Oh, Bam ruled out, officially ruled out. Thank God. I swear to God, my phone is literally, it's just constantly going off. I can't even put the damn thing down. I have to hold it like in front of me because the news is coming so fast and I can't James Robinson Earl will remain in the starting lineup. That's officially in. Darius Baisley, game time decision. Kings starting lineup, Halliburton, Fox, Barnes, Metu, and Holmes. Rockets starting lineup, Kevin Porter Jr., Green, Tate, Wood, Thies. And that's all the news. As of now, that's all the news.
Give me 3 minutes to do some Miami depth chart work.
All right, and you focus on Miami. I got the clock running. DC, give me your quick thoughts on just real off the top, the breaking news that Miami's going to be down Jimmy Butler and now Bam.
Yeah, I think a call for me that you're going to have to make early. Garland versus Tyler Hero, right? That was kind of a decision for me. That pretty clearly puts Tyler Hero above Garland. I think he clearly has more upside, especially scoring the basketball, especially now that Bam's out.
I mean, Tyler Hero's a lock for sure.
Yeah.
And the best part about Hero on FanDuel is he's small forward eligible. Yeah. Thank you, Lord. You don't waste a guard spot on Tyler Hero on FanDuel. Do not do it.
And now, I mean, Deadman becomes a really interesting play. He's been a monster at a point per minute basis with Butler and obviously especially Bam off the court. And then, you do have the nice thing about the nice thing about the Miami guys compared to the Cleveland guys, like they're still favorites in this game, I assume. OKC is pretty awful, whereas like Boston, I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if Boston blew out the Cavs here, and just kind of put a wet blanket on all those guys. Like I don't expect that to happen, but it's at least possible. Whereas like Miami with Kyle Lowry, Hero, Deadman, like those guys are still gonna, I assume, compete and play well. So I do think, like we said, Hero looks like a total lock to me. And then Lowry and Deadman in particular, I think are strong plays as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, DC. I mean, it just on the surface, it seems way safer to put your money in the Miami side, right? Like I wonder though, okay, what about this? Does this pull ownership off the Cleveland side?
So this is gonna pull ownership off of the late games, which is kind of interesting still. Like it's going to continue to pull ownership off these 2 late games and force people to play these early games. I don't know if he'll necessarily pull off of Cleveland. It just may make people prioritize Cleveland in Miami instead of waiting on Toronto and Portland. And that's what becomes the interesting piece is how you play that route. So here's my breakdown real quick of Miami. So from what I can tell, they have basically 5 bigs on their roster now. Dwayne Dedmon and PJ Tucker, I anticipate, will be starting. And you have the backups are going to be KZ Okpala and Omer Yurtseven. And neither have played, I don't think, any minutes this year so far. But they have no other bodies unless they move. Sorry, it's 4, unless they move Duncan Robinson up to the 4. Which who again are they playing?
So K-Falik, one thing I will say is the matchup is honestly perfect for this to happen because Favors is already out. They have Robinson Earl. He's an undersized. He's going to play the 5 here, but he's undersized. Now, he can still rebound. He's strong. He's a solid player. But then they have Mike Muscala. Well, what does he do? He shoots. He wants to hang out the 3-point line, shoot. He's not really a big physical guy either. So I think Miami, no matter what, Dedmon's locked in. They might have to rotate PJ Tucker and Dedmon a little bit more. PJ Tucker might end up having to play a little 5 in this game. And you're right. It might lead to, who knows, maybe Robinson playing maybe Martin and Struss having to play some 3/4.
I forgot about Udonis. They don't even put Udonis on the depth chart on most of these sites anymore.
Yeah.
They have an empty spot for him, and they don't even choose to put him in there.
I could see Big U getting some run tonight.
Yeah, he can get some run. I think that they're going to.
I mean, you're not going to play him. I'm not saying to play him. I'm just saying as far as the actual game. You're not playing him. I'm just saying he might play 12 minutes or something.
Tony had to make that clear.
I'm just saying.
People are going to ask probably if you play PJ Tucker tonight. My answer would be absolutely not. But could he get there? Sure. Are you going to be upset if he gets there? Sure. But do you want to really take that chance and play him? No, not me. So. I would rather play one of these Orlando small guys than playing PJ Tucker personally.
All right. Anything else from the Heat news? I mean, I just think this makes Hero, Lowry, Dedmon. Those guys are they're such strong plays now, especially if you think that the game is going to stay relatively close. I mean, the dudes who are going to crush Hero is going to absolutely crush. Lowry is a stat monster when he wants to be. You're only, Dedmon is so cheap and just they don't have enough bodies. He has to play a decent amount of minutes, unless there's foul trouble. So I think this spot is really tough to stay away from, for sure. So that's my feeling. I feel like, everyone else is kind of on board with the Miami side. What about the studs on this slate? Because in my opinion, Jokic, Luka, Russ, Anthony Davis, just the 4 guys that just pop out in my head. You guys can correct me if I'm missing somebody that you guys love, but seems like a great spot for Jokic. Denver's been running everything through him. Him and Luka have had some really good games against each other. If I go to last year, man, the numbers they put up against each other last year was wild. I think they both had a game where they both scored 38 points each, which was also kind of crazy. But these 2 guys definitely like to go against each other for sure. Luka coming off an 80 burger, Jokic just so consistent. And then I think the Lakers studs come in way under owned. So what are we doing with the studs on this slate, DC?
Yeah, Jokic, the priority play for me. He's in all 5 of my lineups. Not that we need to necessarily go too in depth with the numbers, but you can run the numbers with Will Barton and Michael Porter Jr. off the court this year. There's 66 minutes there for Jokic. He's at 2 fantasy point per minute, 72 fantasy points per 36. That's without any, double-double, triple-double bonuses. Literally 35, 15, and 9 is what he's averaging on his time in the court without those guys. Just an absolute monster. He's not slowing down anytime soon, and I mean, he's just going to absolutely smash. You just kind of already know it. So he's a guy that I want. There's so much value on the slate. Clearly, it's Jokic over Luka for me. It's Jokic over everybody. I think he's clearly the highest projected guy on this slate, and with all the value in there, I think you kind of plug him in, and for me, you build around him. You take your 60 plus out of Jokic seems very, very likely. Ceiling of, I don't know, 80, 90. I mean, he could go for 40, 20, and 15 or something crazy like that. He's definitely got it in him. So Jokic is the guy I want. Listen, there's other good studs on the slate, no doubt about it. And you can play too if you want to, but Jokic is the priority play for me.
Yeah. Okay. So I agree with you. I think that Jokic, just on the surface, you talking about the most consistent guy from a fantasy perspective.
Highest floor and highest ceiling, in my opinion, with Jokic. So that's
yeah, exactly. So we're on board there. Now, on a site like FanDuel, I think it's an interesting decision because you got a ton of centers to play on the slate. You got Dwayne Dedmon, who's cheap, Jokic, who's really expensive. This is where, I think Anthony Davis is in a spot to smash at low ownership, especially low ownership on DK. Chicago's just got no one to defend him. Tony Bradley is not playing that much anyways. He's playing around 20 minutes, but he is slow-footed. He can't defend Anthony Davis outside on the perimeter, on the block. No way. And what are they going to do? Are they going to run out a small ball lineup when Anthony Davis is still on the court? He's just going to crush on the boards. He's going to they're going to double him, I guess, is the answer. And then it's going to leave wide open shots for Melo and Wayne Ellington and Malik Monk. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Chicago plays him. But I think Anthony Davis is in a spot to smash for sure. Just the way Chicago is set up right now, they got no one. They can't run DDR at the 4 if Anthony Davis is if the Lakers run a big lineup. Now they can if Melo's starting like he did last time and Anthony Davis is at the 5. But again, that puts Tony Bradley, Cook, Elise Johnson, whoever they roll out there as a big to guard Anthony Davis, and that won't end well. So I like him a lot. K Falik, what about you? Where are you going for studs?
Yeah, it's Jokic for me, and I intend to have no other studs. What's interesting is
you intend to have no other studs with all the value out there.
I'm going to play the mid-tier game of Evan Mobley at 7-2. I'm going to play Hero at 6-6 or whatever he is. I'm going to play I think Porzingis is still a really interesting play tonight.
Porzingis on this slate, come on now.
When you look at what he's been doing lately at the center position,
he's gonna have Aaron Gordon on him.
If he's playing
he's not going to eat on Aaron Gordon.
He may be playing the 5 instead of the 4 is what I'm trying to say.
There's so many just stone blocks on this.
This is my one play I'm outlawing on the. Okay. I always have to outlaw one K Falik play. I'm outlawing Porzingis.
Tony, on DK, he might have been popular before this Mobley news just because power forward was light and people love the mid-tier builds. I bet now he might not be, but he's played well. He's 7K. All the cash guys love plays like him when he's at 7K because they think he's got this massive ceiling. This is a bad spot for Porzingis. I hated the play beforehand. Now they luck into the Mobley news, so they don't have to play him. But I think he's a bad play at 7K.
I had him in one of my 5 lineups, and I didn't feel great about it. And now it's just no need for Porzingis anymore. You just
no need.
Listen, again, you're going into these late. You got these late games. You have to make a decision about THT, which I think is an interesting topic right now to an extent of what that allows you. But I think that you're looking at Portland, Toronto, Chicago, and LA, who have some really good mid-tier plays that you can feel confident in playing depending on the news that comes out. And I stand by that. I think CJ McCollum is very much in play Gary Trent Jr. is very much in play. Norm Powell's very much in play. Like those guys are going to go unowned and are going to be the number 1 and 2 plays for those teams.
All right. I mean, anything with the late games, guys, besides K-Fallic hit on Portland, anything else that we're missing? I talked about the Lakers studs.
Lock in
Anything else?
THT. What are y'all thinking?
If he's going to start and play close to 25 minutes at 3K or 27,
he's going to start.
I mean, do you like him more than Dedmon?
Well, I think Dedmon's just a plug and play at this point in the slate.
Yeah, I think he's just a.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's a plug and play too.
Well, I'm just saying you start to run out of spots. You know, you can't play everybody. Yeah, I mean,
the good thing he does have dual eligibility at least. DC Horton Tucker, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I like him too. But like, you know,
I get it. I know what you're trying to.
He's 3K starting. Yeah, I think he's got skill too. Like I liked his game last year. I thought he looked good. I mean, I'm good. I'll play him. I think I'm just gonna play him. That's how I feel. Tony, what are you doing with Horton Tucker at 3K? Is he just a plug and play?
I mean, he's very close to a plug and play. I mean, him and Dedmon. That's why. I mean, I know I always make the slate sound simple, but you got Luka, Jokic, AD, Westbrook. You got 3 or 4 min price guys. I don't understand why you wouldn't just play that way. I don't understand the other route.
We're on
because the mid tier has Dinwiddie, Hero.
Yeah, but they're priced fairly. Hero, I agree. Hero is definitely a very elite play, but like Dinwiddie's fine. I'm not saying I don't mind. I just put my numbers in. Let me see what it pops.
But your numbers aren't gonna say that Gary Trent Jr. if Fred VanVleet is out, and
of course not.
And if Precious are out, that he becomes a 6x play just like Hero does.
Yeah,
like that's the issue.
Fuck your numbers, Big T. He doesn't care.
I know, but that's the issue. That's
I mean, if you wait, what if Fred VanVleet's not out?
Then you go. Then you see if Damian Lillard's
what if no one's out?
Then you go to Chicago.
You just bend over and pull the lotion out? I mean, what do you do?
Chicago.
I want to pound Chicago?
Against LA, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball's going to play 38 minutes again. You better believe that he's going to get us his triple-double one day, right?
I will say the quote about Lonzo Ball from I think it was Bulls Talk Radio or whatever it was, where Lonzo went on and pretty much just said it was the first time in his life when he got drafted, when he played with the Lakers, that he felt like someone didn't want him there, which was an interesting quote to me. I mean, it obviously doesn't, he's still got to go out and make shots and stuff, but clearly it was the one time in his life, like, as he said, where he felt like he wasn't wanted. And that for a professional ball player, that can't feel good when you think you're the man and you feel like you're not wanted. I'll just say that. Like, I don't know.
Oh, I just noticed that I haven't even touched a core at this point, but Evan Mobley is the only player I'm playing from the early games.
I was going to bring that up. I'm sticking with Ricky Rubio, but I'm like the biggest Ricky Rubio homer ever. So I was going to bring up, do we have to reconsider him now with so many great options? You know,
I mean, DC, if you think the Cavs keep it close, like in my opinion, if I'm playing Mobley, I want Rubio or Garland because I want the ceiling. And I don't think even Mobley hits his ceiling if the Cavs aren't keeping it close with Rubio. Dude, I think Rubio and him are together in that, in my opinion.
I said at the top of the show that on a normal slate, I'd be willing to play 3, maybe even 4 Cavs in the same lineup. Now it's 2. I'm down. I don't want to play more than 2. So Mobley's number 1 for me, Rubio second, but Garland a little bit off the table. If you're playing a lot of lineups, I would certainly have exposure to Garland too, but I do prefer Rubio over Garland. And with the price discount and all that, that's the way I'm leaning. But I think it's Mobley, Rubio, Garland. Those are I'm taking Osman off the table at this point with so much value out there.
So just so everybody knows, I'm going to have 4 spots open no matter what for these last 2 games. I'm going to have 4 slots open for these last 2 and make a decision based off of that. I feel confident in 4 plays, more than 4, but I feel confident that I can fill in 4 plays, a point guard, a small forward, a guard, and a forward. I feel confident that I can do that. And what I'll do is I'll put my 4 plays that I'm going to play early. And if you want to follow me, I'll play the 4 plays early and I'll leave 1 spot. And that last spot will be one of 4 players, and you can join me on the late 4 players, or if you don't want to do that, don't. My 4 plays are going to be Evan Mobley, Tyler Hero, Dwayne Dedmon, and Nikola Jokic. That's the first 4 that I'm playing, and then I'm leaving the last 4 for the last 2 games.
Yeah, I posted my core in chat and in the live show chat and in NBA general, and yeah, K Falcon and I are, at least with those core plays, very much on the same page.
And it allows people to make their decisions whether they want to play early. And I'm sorry to everybody that's asking a million questions. We'll try to jump into them in a minute, but it allows everybody to make a decision whether they want to play 4 early guys with Washington, Cleveland. If you want to throw in an Orlando guy because of the news that Suggs is out, I'm not saying that's the play. If you want to throw in another Miami guy because you think that they're in play now, it allows a lot of places for you to go. The only place that you can't go on my lineup is wavering any on the center position. I'm just locking in Dwayne Dedmon. I'm locking in Nikola Jokic and moving on.
With all the Miami love, any OKC love, with essentially their defense for Miami absolutely destroyed.
If Basley is out, I think it makes some different plays more interesting. And I think that that's another piece that's going to go underlooked, is that if Basley is out, who does that impact? And AP and I were briefly talking about it, but you can get a 3.1K Kenrich Williams who's going to play 30 minutes and could do something. And I'm not saying he's the play, but I'm saying there are going to be some plays that are going to possibly get there for OKC, and you got to decide who those are.
What about though, like an SGA, like just taking the best play? Like, is SGA in play on the slate?
For Tony, he's going to be in play. For me, I'm not going to play him over potentially playing a Portland guy over him personally.
Okay.
I don't know about anybody else, but that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would be in play just because when you take out the 2 best players on a team, especially on the defensive side too. I mean, Hero, Duncan Robinson. I mean, Kyle Lowry's a better defender, but he's not like the greatest defender ever. I mean, he's Kyle Lowry. He's older now. You know what I mean? That just tells me that some of these OKC guys will probably get there. I would just trust the ones that are for sure playing a bunch of minutes.
I just want to see Basley. I want to see Basley news and see a starting lineup, and then possibly run from there. And maybe we get the news magically of what happens in Toronto and Portland too. Who knows?
Okay. We got 5 minutes left. Tony posted his core. Tony, you just want to give your core out real quick to the people?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm still not totally sold on my build, but on DK, I am. I mean, I know I want to play those 2 studs and those 3 cheapies, Jokic and Luka, Hero, Dedmon, RJ Hampton. I like the Talen Horton, THT too. I love him too. It was either I just didn't want to put the same core up as AP. So RJ,
you fading Cleveland, Big T?
God, so Mobley's my toughest decision because I've played him all year. I kind of feel like he's overvalued here. I could see a bust spot. And honestly, the dead truth is I ran my builds with my numbers. Mobley keeps hitting my number 1 build. And I want to get him out, though. I don't want to play him on my main build. So it's literally rerunning right now.
I kind of like the fading Cleveland entirely or playing Rubio and Mobley together. I'm playing them together because I do think they're very correlated. Like, if Cleveland wins this game or stays close, these guys are going to play all the minutes they can handle. For Rubio, that's still only going to be probably 35 minutes. Like, I just seen him play. He gets tired. He's just not the type of athlete that can go 100% like he does for 40 minutes. But, yeah, I get that. If Mobley was starting at the 4 and not the 5, right, if they even had, like, another 5 to play, I would understand the fade, but man, playing the 5, it's just like all those rebounds.
He's definitely a good play. Like I know he's a good play. I just on FanDuel, I'm even more worried though. Like he's getting expensive, man. Like there's definitely bust potential. Yeah. I played him every start. Like I'm the biggest Mobley fan there is. Like I love him. I just get worried when he's like popular Mobley. I like him more when he's on the cheaper side.
I just don't know when Boston misses a shot who's going to get the rebound for the Cavs.
Mobley's probably going to crush. Like
that's why I think that like Robert Williams is going to get the ball in the paint, and there's opportunities for Mobley to get blocks or steals off of him. Like I just think that's why I'm not like, I hear y'all on the correlation of Rubio piece, but understand that Garland's going to see the ball in his hands just as much as well. I think they're going to play like the double.
I disagree with that. I think that Garland's going to play off the ball a ton with Rubio starting.
Okay.
Rubio is the point guard for that team when he's on the floor. The ball always goes in his hands unless it's like they need a shot. They need like a one-on-one opportunity. Then it will go to Garland. But other than that, I think that that's my take there. All right, so my core is up. Going back to him. Lonzo, don't do it to me again. Lonzo
you
Ball.
Hurt my feelings the last couple starts. Our boy Lonzo.
Lonzo Ball, Tyler Hero, Talon Horton Tucker, Nikola Jokic, Dwayne Dedmon. Well, another thing is I don't want to have the same core as all you jamokes. It's like I'm trying not to have the same exact core. Oh, it's tough.
Yeah. I'm super torn on my.
So let me pose one guy who hasn't been discussed yet that I'm interested in y'all's opinion on is Kevin Huerter.
With Bogdan, I can't play him. I just can't do it with Bogdan in.
It's been posed a lot in chat and stuff, so I wanted to pose it in here because we're not really, to be honest, we're not doing a good job of answering your questions tonight. There's too much news coming around, and I feel like we're doing a good enough job just providing you all the information of our thoughts at least.
It's one of those slates too where I don't think you're in bad shape if you just fade these 7 o'clock. I know people aren't going to like that advice, and you might miss out on a guy that crushes. Just take 30 minutes, recalibrate right here, and just see. Honestly, I might do it on FanDuel. I got 40 seconds. I got my core up. I literally I'm just not feeling good about it. So if I don't feel good about it, I know I love that Miami game for sure. Worst case scenario, I can pivot to OKC like JSU was talking about. I just don't want to force these guys in and get locked into it, and then I can't move them around. So I like my DK build for sure. FanDuel, I only got 15 seconds. I think I am going to do that on FanDuel though.
Better decide quick, Big T.
I know the clock's against me. That's what I mean. I do like the DK build though. The DK build's just easy because we can. FanDuel's just annoying because you can't play Jokic and Dedmon together.
So. Guys have been asking about Metu. Any thoughts on Metu tonight? Getting the starting minutes for Sacramento.
I didn't even know he was in play. Really, has he been doing good or something? He's already starting anyway.
25-ish points every game.
Yeah, I didn't realize he just started though. Anyway.
Yeah, not for me, but I get it.
Yeah, I have no interest. Also, I just think that there's better plays that will come.
The guy that's freaking good is this these Orlando guys. Like these dudes crush. They just keep crush. I can't believe the one dude's good too. What's the point guard's name?
Cole Anthony.
Yeah,
I was defending that guy from the beginning this year. Big T's a
good call
for Big T.
I mean, I'll take the L on that one for sure. I really thought he was too small and not good enough, and he is. Not only is he crushing, but he's letting people know too. He talks trash. I'll take the L for sure on him because I was wrong. He's just good.
Oh, yeah, you made fun of me one time for talking him up.
I just took the L already. Don't be piling more on me. I already took one.
He's a short guy, and I love him. He yells at people. He definitely has told many people to get off his friggin' court. I can guarantee you that.
This is pretty crazy. In the $88 on DraftKings, you have Rubio at 30%, Mobley at 40%, which feels –
see, that's what I mean, though, right? I think 40% Mobley. I'll just say it. I have. Let me tell you what I got.
I have him locked in, so I
got a bunch of Mobley too. I'm a little I think I got 30%. So I think it's a bad play though.
I was hoping for a number. I thought the number would be under 40. That's a little. This is
on DraftKings. I had 3 teams, and I have them in one just because I ended up.
I think that's
deciding.
The number right there.
You're
one
right,
out of
you're
3.
right at the field, basically, that seems fine. Garland,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy to see Rubio at 30%, Garland down at 3%.
I didn't like Garland at all, just full disclosure.
That game, I'll tell you right now, that game could easily just blow out, and it could be.
I'm starting to think that game sucks. Like, I just have a feeling that game's going to let us down.
I'm worried. I'm locked into Rubio and Mobley. I'm worried. I'll admit it.
The RJ Hampton call is growing on me a little bit, Tony.
I love RJ Hampton tonight. I do.
He's
3,200.
Yeah, him and Terrence Ross feel too cheap, but.
Yeah,
they're just so cheap for what they get, and I mean they're kind of like Cleveland too, though, where they could definitely hurt our feelings, but they're just so cheap.
BigT, I wanted to ask your opinion on Bones Highland.
Have you seen all these quotes where they're like they wouldn't let Jokic and him play together all summer because they were too good together? they made them be on opposite teams because they just kept winning every game. I mean, obviously it probably had a lot to do with Jokic, but Jokic and Bones love each other, which is huge. I just wish they would give him more run, just like give him the full leash. If Barton's out, I think he's very, very, very good.
I mean, he played, what did he get? 23 minutes last game.
Why does he not get more run? Just Michael Malone being Michael Malone?
Malone seems to make the youngsters like really earn it. You know, like they got like
even Jokic he may. I used to get all of us did would get just freaking pissed when he would just sit Jokic.
Yeah, I mean, I think assuming Barton's out, like they've got Jeff Green and Austin Rivers in the starting lineup. Like those guys aren't going to do much. Even Aaron Gordon, really, his usage isn't that low. So Monty Morris, I think, becomes somewhat interesting as like a way off the board play. His numbers go way up when he's playing without Barton. And then, I mean, Bones Highland off the bench, like talk about a high upside play, 3,400. I think with all the news, he's going to go lower owned. He's a guy, you know, if you're on the Cleveland guys like me, Rubio, Mobley, too high owned guys that don't do well, maybe you switch to a guy like Bones Highland because I could see him popping off for 30, 35, 40 fantasy points, you know, if things go his way.
I mean, the question is always with him, it's the playing time, right? Like if that dude gets playing time, he's going to crush.
But at least if Barton's out, at least now we know he will get a chance, right? He will get into the game. And if he's crushing, you know, obviously you're more likely to get more minutes.
Well, what about last game? Last game, they just beat the shit out of the team. So, like, did Bones kind of got hurt probably by that, right?
I think he would have finished that game if it wasn't such a blowout, right? They went to like even like the backups behind him seems like because none of the starters or the 3 main guys that were in the rotation
finished the game, right?
Like the last 6-7 minutes. So.
Yeah, I think he would have finished too, DC. I'm on board with you. The problem is he's definitely like a feel type. Does he actually finish the game or not with Malone? Malone definitely is like, okay, how is he doing? If he's playing well.
I doubt he closes, honestly. Malone is
I agree.
Malone is such an idiot with that stuff. He would have to be like blazing hot. But then he'll blow one defensive assignment and Malone will be like, what are you doing, Bones? You scored 30 points, but you blew that one defensive assignment. You're out. Like, it's just the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah, that's probably what happens.
The FanDuel build's way harder for me tonight than DK. I'm struggling with FanDuel a lot more.
You can't, you either play Jokic or Deadman. I know you're struggling with that.
And that's just annoying, though, because they both feel like locks to me. It just sucks.
Right.
I should just fade Deadman if I was smart, but I don't want to.
I think you're leaning the other way, and I think it's the right way to go.
Yeah, I know it's going to be annoying, though, when Jokic gets like 70.
Did Evan Mobley break the slate yet? Just wondering. I just finished my NFL content. I just wanted to check to see if he broke it yet.
Got to get in NBA chat, the happiest place on earth, and see if people are happy or mad.
You just reminded me that we got NFL tonight. I got to do my stuff. That's going to be another thing. We got, an hour until NFL watch?
Well, I'll give my thoughts for 30 seconds, then I'm going to head out and spend some family time before I got to put them to bed. The NFL slate feels very easy to me because this mid tier is just so elite, and people are going to force in these $200 guys for all these teams, and as long as they fail this 5K and above, or the 2 kickers and the 5K and above spots, just feel so good. And as long as I said in my write up, as long as Henderson and Debo don't break the slate, I feel pretty good about my builds with these 5 guys that are in the mid tier: Eli Mitchell, Van Jefferson, Ayuk, George Kittle, and Higbee. Those 5 guys are just too cheap for their roles, in my opinion. So,
all right, yeah, I think the slate is kind of. I mean, I think there are points scored on both sides. I think that we're going to see a game where San Francisco hold the zone. Even though I'm not a big fan of their team overall, I still think that they can put up some points here. Rams defense has not been as good as maybe people in their heads think they are, and yeah, I think there's going to be points here.
No, I think there's for sure going to be points, but it feels like everybody is forcing in these $200 guys, and even like, listen, they could do great. I hope they don't, but like, how can you play a guy who's like definitely the 5th option every single play in this go and rock guy? Like, even if he gets 40% of snaps, like Travis Benjamin, like all these guys are going to be the 4th or 5th option on these teams. Sherfield, like all these guys. I don't see the play. I could see the teams going to a 12 package as well, and just changing things up too. So good luck, everyone. I'll be around for the NBA chat tonight. I promise. I know I'm playing a lot of the later guys, so I'll be around. It's going to be an interesting night for sure. So good luck to everyone.
Yeah, and I'm seeing. I know we didn't get to a ton of questions for people. I do apologize. When we get slates like that, it's a little tough when we don't have a guy like Holden here, who's able to get the chat while we're kind of changing stuff around. So I apologize. We'll have Holden back tomorrow. Obviously, if you have any questions, you can get in the the NBA chat. Even though I'm sure it's going to go on fire as the Cleveland game starts and people tilt. But
I got Tony, some final thoughts too about this Miami game. Just from looking, like some of these OKC guys are, I agree with what JSU was saying, where some of these guys just have to be good plays. I mean, Giddy has to be a good play. Baisley probably, if he plays. I mean, he's questionable. I mean, I don't know. I think this game will be closer now. So these guys should, in theory, be pretty good plays. The Miami guys, like Duncan Robinson, I've never played him in my life. He almost has to be a pretty good play tonight, though. I'm
so pissed. DK raised his price. He was like 3,800 a few slates ago.
He's
47.
What? Yeah, I mean, I think he might crush though. OKC can't defend the arc. Yeah, I don't know. Who's going to score for him? I mean, Deadman's not going to score.
He makes a lot of sense. He makes a lot of sense, honestly.
I think you can play that Heat onslaught if you want. Lowry, Hero, Deadman, Duncan Robinson. I mean, those guys, if the game goes their way, those guys could play like close to like 160 combined minutes, like 40 apiece. Like, so
if you play Hero, Lowry, and Duncan, right, you're going to get all of the offense for the most part. I mean, that's in the whole game. I mean,
100%. I got to run the guys.
I hate Duncan Robinson too. The people that have watched these shows, obviously, they make
You've
fun
talked
of me
so much shit about him.
I hate all whiteys, but man, if there's ever been a Duncan Robinson spot, it's tonight.
I hate him too, Tony. I've talked so much shit about him too. So
I hate his guy. The running joke is I hate all white people, but I do hate all white people.
Good luck, DC. Yeah. Now there were 2, Tony.
There always is.
I'm with you. I think the OKC side is actually, this makes it a lot better of a spot. And I just don't think many people are going to adapt to it, which is the other reason that I really like it. Is I just don't think people are going to go there. I think people are just going to play these Heat guys. And I get it. The Heat guys are good plays, but
if the Heat guys do good, though, I mean, especially Giddy. I mean, maybe not a ton of them, but Giddy almost has to be a good play.
I love Giddy. I love his. I like his game too. He's so awkward, but like I like his game.
Yeah, he's just a good play, I think.
And you can slot him in that small forward spot too. Forward's the issue, Tony. When you don't play Mobley, it's the issue.
Believe me, I especially FanDuel. FanDuel, I'm struggling more than DK. DK, I'm not struggling as much, but FanDuel, I just don't like the build much.
Really, I'm struggling on DK too. I won't lie. The forward spot is really getting to me.
Yeah, I mean, but there's some deuce. In 1 second, I can pull. Let me see. So DK, let me see my forwards.
Like, do you like Robinson Earl? I'm struggling to fit him in builds, but
no, I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't have him in the pool. So forward. I mean forward. So I mean, obviously Horton Tucker, Luka. You can play at small forward. AD.
At small forward.
Jaren Jackson looks cheap.
God, he sucks though.
He's just got a good matchup tonight, though. Houston has to be a good matchup. I don't even hate Aaron Gordon, depending on who's out for Denver. I know he doesn't have a ceiling, but he's still cheap enough versus Dallas. That athletic guys versus Dallas, I don't mind him. That's actually those are the only 6. You're right, though. Those are my only 6 guys I got in my player pool. That's for 3 forward spots too. So I just gave I only got 6 dudes in. I didn't realize that.
Jesus.
Actually, the 6th one is Max Struss. I only got 4% of him. So I basically got 5 forwards. How's that possible? What am I missing?
Wait, what are you missing? What am I missing?
I don't know. I must be looking at it wrong or something. Because it's probably just showing my forward. It's not showing my. Yeah, I had more power. Yeah, I wasn't looking at it right.
Okay.
I had some Mobley. I did have the some Mobley. I had some Kuzma, so I don't think it was showing me my early guys. Maybe I don't have many forwards though, so I definitely agree with that part.
Yeah, that's the spot that. Yeah, maybe Franz.
Those Orlando guys, I think, are good plays.
I will say this: Wagner's minutes went up a little when Suggs went out at the very end. They like him. He's been aggressive, double-digit shots in the last 5 games. Every single game, he's taken double-digit shots. The problem is he plays with friggin' Mo Bamba and Wendell Carter, and it hurts his upside when it comes to like rebounding and shit. But I think he's actually pretty good. I think he's way better than his brother, by the way. Like way better, in my opinion. I think he's Franz.
Oh,
isn't he? He's Mo's brother. Yeah. I think he's like way better too. So maybe he's in play. What about Melo, Tony? Carmelo? Oh, it's Melo night. Oh, it's Melo night. Somebody. Oh, mark this down. Carmelo. I'm marking it down right now.
Horton Tucker bust. Melo goes off.
Melo goes nuts.
Okay, I'm running my FanDuel right now just so I'm going to give an update and then we can leave and do the football. But I'll put my first FanDuel core up, and that one's fine if you did lock it in, but I'm going to put my next one up right now. I'm running the numbers.
Is this for you're changing your FanDuel core?
I mean, that's kind of what I said going a lot. I just wasn't sold on it, so I faded a few of those guys. If people use my early core, there's nothing wrong with that. It had Rubio, Dinwiddie, no issue whatsoever. I just wasn't sold on the overall build. It's like my new build probably will be worse than this build, but I just wasn't sold on it, and I didn't want to force those spots. Like Mobley was giving me issues. I just didn't. I didn't run it. So we'll see.
You're tinkering, Tony. Tinkering.
Yeah, correct. And I finally figured out how to use this Saber Sim more how I wanted to. Let me see.
Any of this news we care about? Young. Oh, we knew Herder was starting. Nope, nothing else. Nothing else.
What's going to happen in the foots tonight is the question.
Honestly, Tony, and I'm not very high on San Fran as a team like this year, but I think they score some points on the Rams. I think the Rams and them kind of go back and forth a little bit. The question's going to be, do we see more 2 tight end sets from the Rams? Do they keep playing their 3?
Who's the second tight end even? Do they even have another guy?
They have multiple guys that don't play. Literally, don't play.
San Fran's beat the Rams 4 straight times.
Is that true? I just
they beat them last year. They beat them 23-20 and 24-16. The year before, 34-31 and 20-7. They've beat them 4 straight times. I know the Rams are a different team, but it's still funny they beat them 4 straight times.
I think they match up well with the Rams too. That's what I felt coming in.
I'm glad these teams that it spits out for me, I feel way better about. So let me see what I can put up for a core here. It gives me let me see. Gives me some builds I like a lot here. See what the number 1 is going to be. Yeah, I was worried about what it would look like too, but let me see.
Well, you like your builds more now with rerunning it?
I'm just loading them into FanDuel real quick, and then I'll update my core on the page. And if anyone, what did you figure out? What'd they say? What the question? Hampton, Herder, THT, definitely THT Caruso over Hampton Herder for me. What'd you figure out about SaberSim from your comment? What did I figure out? I figured out how to get less variance when I used hold on a second, I got distracted when I use my
take a second, Tony, you don't have to.
When I use my lineup HQ, I don't want any variance because I have my projections where I want them, and the little wheel in SaberSim kept wanting me to have more variance. So I was wondering why my projections wouldn't add up to the exact optimal I wanted. And it was because it was like giving me more variance, and I don't want the variance I want the variance when I don't look at a slate and I don't know anything and I can just run the numbers and get some variance in there. When I actually look and know what's going on and I want my teams how I want them, then I want as little variance as possible because I trust my numbers. Okay, so here's FanDuel. Everything I want, and the key to getting what I wanted was Duncan Robinson at 5,500, which it gets me Luka, it gets me Westbrook, it gets me Tyler Hero, which obviously we were already going to play. Basically, it gets me everything I want by playing Duncan Robinson. So let's see what my core, what changes with my core. I do like Cole. So the tough decision for me is Cole Anthony or Lowry, 76, 74. I think Lowry's probably a better play, but that's the last decision for me because I do like Cole Anthony a ton. I already have Hero. This is where JSU comes in because I already have Hero and Duncan Robinson. Do I play Lowry over Cole Anthony and have all 3 of them, or do I?
This spot for Miami is elite, though.
Yeah.
And the way Lowry plays, he's going to need to rebound more. Normally, this answer would just be hands down Cole Anthony. I think this situation is a little different.
Yeah.
You're
getting the whole offense too, which is nice.
You're getting the whole offense. I mean, Duncan Robinson, Hero. Kyle Lowry could have a shit offensive game and still be in the winner. That's the other thing with Kyle Lowry's game. That dude could give you 10, 10, and 10. Like, you know, and that's maybe him shooting bad. Maybe Duncan Robinson, Hero, shoulder most of the scoring. And he does all the little things, which could very possibly happen. So that's a tough one right there. I'm struggling with my build because I'm ending up with more Anthony Davis just from a positional standpoint.
That's probably the Jokic. Move.
And you know what, guys? Just because that's happening to me, I'm going to change my core from just because I want to be transparent. And Anthony Davis is hitting most of my builds. So I just got to put him in there. So I'm taking out Jokic. I still love Jokic. I think you could still play another stud with my core, so you could still easily get another stud in there. I just want to give you guys as much flexibility as possible. And I just think that on this slate, power forward, unless you locked in Mobley at power forward, like Anthony Davis is the best play at power forward. Like it's not even close. So I'm playing him at power forward here. I'm going to lock him in. And that update in my core, put it in, is it yellow too? Yeah, I just did that. So, all right, that's updated now.
Power forward's rough sledding.
Look at Little at 3.8K, Corey. Nazir Little.
I can't.
I don't know about that Portland situation. Dame seemed like he was trying to play that last game. The coaching staff like held him back. I don't know if they're gonna be able to hold him back 2 games in a row. Maybe he does. I don't know.
Man.
What do you think of the Dame situation? You just think he plays, or are you just not worried about it?
I mean, I kind of think he plays, but I don't have like a super strong take on it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I kind of do think he plays though.
He sucks it up and plays. I
kind of think so. Man, this power forward, I just can't decide what to do in this last freaking spot. Man, I should just play Aaron Gordon, but he just has no ceiling.
Play Franz, Tony.
Is he power forward?
He is. He's power forward.
He's not a power forward. I'm talking FanDuel. My DKs are my DK. I love my DK, so I'm good on DK.
Yeah, I was pissed he wasn't power forward on Fan. I was so mad.
Yeah, I need a freaking power forward, and I would have played him
so fast. I would have played him so fast on FanDuel if he was power forward eligible.
That's why everyone played Mobley, because it's just a tough spot.
Well, did you see the cheap power forwards? There was nobody.
I know.
Once you went past 6'2", there was literally no one on FanDuel that was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot for sure. I should maybe play. I could just play like PJ Tucker too. I don't want to play him, but this Miami spot is good. I don't know. It doesn't really get me anything though either.
Playing who?
Like PJ Tucker or something.
I can't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I didn't think about it.
I mean, PJ Tucker does suck, but he's
gonna play a shit ton.
And they're just not playing anybody. I don't know. Oh man, I do like Franz though. How much? He's only 51 on.
On where?
On FanDuel, only 51, but the positions. Thoughts on Triple J on FanDuel? Volker says I like Triple J. Oh, JSU doesn't like him as much, but I love the Houston matchup
on FanDuel too.
Huh?
So I said at least like on FanDuel, he's got that block upside as well. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
So
I just like the matchup a lot. God, I just can't find. I don't remember struggling this much with a fit. I just can't find a fit I like. I'll just play it. Whatever. I'm putting my core up right now. Let's see how many I had. I had Lowry, Hero.
I'm so mad I couldn't find that much Jokic in my builds.
FanDuel's tough, but I mean DK wasn't tough. You're struggling on DK?
I am struggling on DK with the way my builds are.
Let me see. I'm gonna look at DK with you. Okay, so my only difference with if you are following along is I took out the two early guys for RJ Hampton and Duncan Robinson in my core, but if you played the early one, that's fine too. I mean, those two plays.
So Tony just added Duncan Robinson and RJ Hampton, and you took out the early guys that were already in there.
I had Rubio and Dinwiddie. So obviously it's not a 2v2, but it got me up to Anthony Davis, Luka. I mean, here I go saying more of my dudes, but whoever's watching.
You don't.
Whoever's watching is gonna not know what I'm talking about, anyways, because I don't even know what I'm talking about myself today. I'm not loving. The only thing I'm confident in is the cheap guys, Miami guys, Luka and Jokic being the two best plays on the slate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, DK. So like, what? My build just builds itself. So like, where are you getting stuck at?
I think it's the guard spot with Lowry, Lonzo, Hero. You're not playing Lonzo.
I can't. Alonzo hurt my feelings too many times. I don't mind him. You didn't play Cade Cunningham either?
I can't play Cade Cunningham right now. Not in this slate with so many guards. I took him out. He just I'm sure he'll get it done tonight, but he just hasn't looked that great to me. And I don't have the college bias because I didn't watch him in college. So I don't know. I know you guys
He's
said
so cheap though.
I know he is, but
he's going against Sacramento.
All these guards are too cheap though, Tony.
I know. I just, man, like he went 4 for 10 again the other night. He still got 24.
He's gonna keep shooting. He's gonna chuck. That's 100% sure.
Power forward's my spot. Like I just cannot. Even on DK right now, I love my whole team. It's just power forward. I just don't feel great about. I could play Franz, but then I'm leaving. Can I really play Franz over Aaron Gordon?
Honestly, probably not. I don't.
Aaron Gordon just has no ceiling, but he does at least give you a floor. Like,
yeah, I think he gives you a
or I could play Mr. Mello, JSU's boy Mello at that same price range.
He could just shove it up JSU's ass and play some Carmelo.
I'm just gonna play Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, at least I know he's gonna play minutes. If Barton's out, he gets a little boost. Dallas has a bunch of whiteys that are not athletic, which has to be good for Gordon. Yeah, I'm just gonna play. I'm done with hoops. Do we got anything else? I'm gonna move over and do my player pool for football.
I gotta get my football stuff up too. Yeah. So I mean,
I think we got it all. We gave a good breakdown for not being too organized.
Definitely not too organized. Again,
these 11-game slates, though, it's not easy to come on and talk about 11 games and then value opens up during the show. And like, it's not like it's cut and like tomorrow, 3-game slate, cut and dry. 11-game slate with news, not cut and dry.
Not like news that was hitting the entire show. Definitely not as easy. Again, I know some questions keep coming in. Like, I'm not playing Javonte Green, Cam Johnson.
Not on this.
I just can't play those
guys.
Play
the Miami guys if you want. Like, even I make fun of
even PJ. Like,
any of
him.
Them. No, any of the Miami guy. Even K. Fallick's boy, Strauss. If you get stuck, play Strauss. Play any Miami guy if you get stuck, no matter what. Even if it's one of the dudes that you don't feel great about, like Tucker. They don't have dudes, and they're facing the worst team in the NBA.
I'm with you 100%. Like, just play those guys. Don't get stuck. I mean, Ayton's back. Like, don't get stuck just playing random power forwards because you fall on that spot and you just need one. Cole Anthony, PJ Tucker, Lonzo, and Triple J. I mean, I think that's just clearly for me. That's Lonzo, Triple J all day from a ceiling perspective. I would prefer that one. I do love Cole Anthony though. Thoughts on Wendell Carter? I think he's okay, but like, Orlando, they're missing guards. Wendell Carter's okay though. I guess he gets more minutes than Bamba too when it's all said and done. Luka, all these Jokic questions, I would go Jokic over Jokic Pascal or Luka Saboner. I would go Jokic Pascal. So that's about it, Tony. Sorry if there's questions I missed. Get them in the NBA chat. We got to get our NFL stuff up and then pivoting over to the NFL chat. So you guys, good luck. Hopefully we shift tonight, Tony. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's always we finish it out, man. We'll stay. We hang on for the people. Also, I forgot to tell K Falik this. I got to get on him. My cousin said he didn't answer a DM, so I got to get on K Falik because he didn't answer my cousin. Know. He probably didn't know it was my cousin though, but I still got to get on him for it, give him shit. So
correct. Always get on K Falik when we can.
Yeah, I got to. And if anyone ever sees Cuzzy2 in the chat, that's my cousin. You can razz on him and give him shit. So all right. Good luck, guys. For me, JSU, Big T. We got to get the NFL stuff up. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck.